Welcome back to Idle Talk. Today, as I am recording this, I have learned something new. Currently, it is like 10:40 at night on Monday, the day before this episode is supposed to go live, right? So, procrastination at its finest, right? So, we're going to talk about a few things, but first off, a funny, to me, Twitter interactions this week. There was a tweet that said, "Women can come," and I quote tweeted it, and I said, "News to me." And somebody replied, and they were like, they put this meme, and I'll throw it right here, but I'll describe it to my audio's listeners. It was like a person like covering their mouth or something, and then like tears, like they were crying, like they couldn't believe like I said that, right? And then I forgot what the tweet said, but I replied back, "Wait, y'all can?" And then I put like a surprise face. Like, that's how my morning kicked off today. And then she didn't reply for like the whole day until like literally like 40 minutes ago. And then she was like, "I'm going to pray for you." And then I said, "Good, because I'm lost out here." So I thought that was pretty funny. Are my lights flickering? Hello? Anyway, video people, let me know if you catch that. Other news. If I post this clip, that means the Discord is now live. I'm working on an Idle Talk Discord. I kind of want it to be a place where I can just go in, chat with people, like more like community oriented based. And I want to have sections where I have my collaborations, like the people that I've worked with, they post their stuff there, like private chats there, like everybody that I've ever collabed with in one group, and then they get to mingle amongst themselves, mingle with me in there, and just have a section for viewers that want to come in and say stuff and leave ideas, suggestions for things to talk about on the show, things to talk about with other people, other guests that I have on. So I'm working on the Idle Talk Discord, and I'm really excited for it. I think it can do well. I think, intermixing my TikTok community with my Instagram community. I think I'm shadow banned on TikTok, unfortunately. I think it's because the cursing is too much for TikTok. And so moving forward, the clips, Instagram, you're going to get the full, raw, unbleeped clips. But if you're a TikTok viewer, listener, if you only manage to see the clips on there, you're going to miss out on the curse words. I'm just going to take the sound out completely and, not worry about it, hopefully get back into Robot's good graces. So yeah, this is a little recap. Discord, women can come, and TikTok censorship up to this point. But moving on, I'm going to talk about life, the real world, the outside world. Things I did not sign up for. I know I didn't sign up to be on this floating rock, floating through space and time. But unfortunately, I have reached a peak in age where I'm just having to be an adult. And what does that mean? As I dramatically lay my hands on the table. But what does it mean to be an adult? What is adulting? Why do I now have these X amount of responsibilities that I need to take care of? Can anyone explain that to me? It's weird navigating the current climate of the world and trying to be an adult and trying to do things that I like and trying to do things that benefit me. How am I supposed to continue my education and go to the gym and eat 3 times a day and have a good job and work out and have a social life and date people and all the other, I'm trying to learn how to fly a helicopter. Where am I going to fit in helicopter time, right? Where am I going to fit that in all these things that I need to do during the day? And it's they're like, "Oh, you have 24 hours in a day to do whatever you want." Da 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 da. Not really, sir. I have 12 hours in a day. I have the 8 that I'm supposed to sleep, right? And then I have the 8 that I'm supposed to work, right? 8 hours, 8-hour workday. And if you think about it, like, That's 16 hours of my day gone, and I have another 8 hours to fit in everything else I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm supposed to find a way to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner in those 8 hours, and I'm supposed to find time to socialize with my friends, whether it be virtually or in person. And then I'm supposed to, in those same 8 hours, I'm supposed to work out, which, believe me, like, that takes at least 2 hours for me. And then other stuff that I gotta do, like, what if I got homework, right? What if I'm in school, right? I gotta go do homework, and that, God knows how long that takes minimum. Date people, that doesn't count as a socializing as friends. That's its own separate category. And then like, I'm supposed to fit in my helicopter lessons. Like, what is that supposed to, like, how am I supposed to do that? And I'm supposed to be filming the podcast, editing the podcast, learning new techniques, running TikTok, running Instagram, like running Twitter. Like, I'm supposed to be doing all that. In those 8 hours that I have, it just feels like a scam. Like, you just wake up bright fuck early in the morning, go to work. Now we're coming out of work and the fucking sun is gone. Like, I lost all my daylight time, all my sun time. Like, like the 8-hour work day feels like a scam when you really compare them. Like, you really only got like 12 hours barely. You got 12 hours to do whatever you want. And then I got to unwind at home, but I can't because I got to cook, or I got to do laundry. I got to do shit. I got to do like stuff. So this is like the little crisis that I'm having. Like, kind of like, how do I navigate the current world with all these quote unquote responsibilities, but then, do things I like? So I think my alternative, my end goal, my end game plan, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like, dead ass. Like, I'm going to Bali or something. Like, I'm going to scope it out first. I'm going to go there on like a little vacation. I'm going to find a way to make some pretty good change, because I have a lifestyle that I have and I would like to uphold, and that I'm currently barely upholding. But I'm trying to figure that out on my own, and just chill. Like, I'm not trying to be enclosed in a particular job where I'm like, I hate it here. I tolerate it or I hate it, but nothing in particularly has popped up to me where I'm like, I love it. And I think a lot of people kind of go through that in their life. We're just like, well, it's a good job, pays well, a decent bit. Do I like it? I wouldn't say I like it. And I've heard dozens of people, and I think I'm falling in the same cycle where it's like, I don't hate my job. It's a good job. I do things that are cool. Like, it's okay. It's a good. Who's supposed to like their job, right? And I've always thought to myself, I want to like my job. I want to love what I do every day. I want to go in and be excited, right? On the level of like retail managers, where they're just too hype for their job. You're like, ma'am, this is a Kohl's. Why are you so excited to be the manager here? Like, I want to go in with that kind of excitement, even though I'm fucking working at Kohl's. Like, I want to have that kind of excitement, and I'll find it eventually. Whether I stumble onto it or I make it myself. That's the goal. That's the life plan, end game. Like I said earlier, that's what I want to do with my life. I want to be somewhere I like, because I love hearing like, oh, you're in Hawaii, how can you be sad? And then people kind of like, just because I'm here doesn't mean I don't go through the regular human emotions like depression, anxiety, nervous, panic. Doesn't mean I don't go through those feelings. But I kind of want to be like, actually, I'm in fucking Bali. There's no way I'm like anxious or nervous or whatever. So that's where I'm telling you guys. I want to be there. I want to get there eventually. But also I want to have a late night show. That's what, I want to have I have these different goals and aspirations for the different days of the week. Like, why am I so chill one day and then I'm like, oh, I got to grind because I want to be fucking just notice what I'm doing. If you don't know, if Spotify, Apple Podcast listeners, I'm doing that emoji with your two fingers touching. I just did it randomly, subconsciously. But I want to have I'm holding my hands together. I want to have a late night show, or I want to have, do more media stuff with my podcast, things like that, TV, film, whatever. Or I just want to be a chill guy, hanging out in Bali, doing Bali stuff, and doing the podcast as well. Like, but at the end of the day, it all revolves the podcast. Like the podcast, one way or another, it's gotta continue. It's gotta grow. It's gotta evolve. It's gotta move past me. But I still want to be part of it. I still want to be in the nitty gritty. I still want to be involved in any way possible. Like the podcast game, I've been saying it for years. And it's kind of coming into fruition now, where it's like podcasts are going to explode, and people are going to lose their minds over podcasts because they'll be long form, short form, easy to consume. Take time out of your day. You're like, all right, I got to look forward. I got to make time for this podcast because it's a 3-part series. I'm on part 2, and I want to get to part 3. Like podcasts are becoming such a big deal that I feel like it is now a community for extroverts and introverts alike. Extroverts will talk to you about their podcasts. They'll talk to you about what they like, what they love, what they're listening to, what they want to listen to. They'll ask for recommendations. But for our introverted people, the introverted family members of ours, it's like they kind of feel like they're in a room surrounded by somebody they know because they've listened to podcasts and they've listened to each episode, and they kind of grown this like bond with the podcast creator, and now it kind of feels like they're just hanging out. And podcasts are so intimate like that. Like a good podcast versus a great podcast, what do we describe that as? We can't describe it. You can say a good produced podcast versus a greatly produced podcast, meaning there's a production team behind it, there's sound effects, there's great quality editing, there's superb microphone equipment, versus somebody like me or other small podcast creators where it's like, no, we're in our bedrooms, we're in our couches, we're like in our living rooms, where we're getting people to come over to our house and record a podcast. Like no answer is correct in that manner. It's like I'm not gonna cut out these little stumbly parts of my sentences as I'm continuing to ramble and talk about it, because it's raw, it's natural, it's something that is coming from me, and I'm not gonna alter it anyway. But also there's podcasts where it's clear. There's no spaces, there's no there's no so's, there's no buts, there's nothing. It's all cut out, and it flows still naturally and it flows well, but there's a time and place for these things. Like in this world, in this podcasting world, we can exist simultaneously, and it's just, amazing to be part of it. Like I literally am on team. Everybody should start their own podcast, even though people on Twitter and social media are like, yo, everybody doesn't deserve a podcast. I think if you're genuine, if you're true to yourself, you will attract people that are looking for that kind of stuff. And whether you have 6, 7, 8 listeners, 80, 90, 8,000, 9,000, whether you have X amount of listeners, they're going to be there because they enjoy the content you produce. Everybody is ripe and primed to enter the creator market, because look at the phones we got in our pockets. We got $1,000 smartphones minimum in our pockets. We got cameras that are almost on par to, DSLRs, regular cameras, handheld cameras, as opposed to just in our pocket, on our phone, on the same machine we use to call and text people and scroll TikTok and scroll Instagram, like we're closing that gap. And it's important to realize that all you really need is some light, your phone. You don't even need the microphone, honestly. Like I've seen so much popular content on TikTok, and people are using the bottom of their phone as a microphone, because there's microphones on the bottom of your phone. They're talking into the bottom of their phone. They're like, yep, here you go. Oh, now it's your turn to talk. And people love that. People love to see that. People don't mind seeing that. And it's just powerful, and it's amazing that we're in such an environment where we can be able to produce content on a whim, and it still feel like it's entertaining and good to watch, even though, like we're talking into cell phones or something. But like, we get the point. Like, content is so easy to make, and everybody should be making content on the things they love, whether it be you're buying a house and you're documenting that process, and you're documenting the journey, and you get to see from start to finish when you got the house and how it ends and how you made it perfectly your own house. You know, people like to see that. People like to consume it. Or whether it be true crime shit. You're talking about a court case or like something along those lines. People love to hear that. Even though, you know, like, it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's somebody's out there's cup of tea. So just remember that. Or if you're a new mom and you're documenting the struggles of learning how to become a mother and learning how to raise this beautiful human you just produced and made. You know, people, other people who may be up and coming moms, like just about, or like who are currently moms and like can offer you tips. Like, you know, there's a market for everything out there, and you just need to go out and find it and secure it, and, you know, find your place. There's a place for everybody out there. It's not as dog eat dog as it was before in the early 2012s. Like 2021, there's platforms for everybody. You know, some people might like Instagram better. Go ahead, post all your content on Instagram. You don't need to spread out and do Twitter and do Facebook and do TikTok. Like, you don't have to. It would be good if you had the time, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You know, that's the beauty of choice. You don't have to if you don't want to, and that's amazing. And I love the creator economy. And we talk about the Mr. Beasts of the world. I saw a tweet recently. He just uploaded his own version of Squid Game, right? And I saw a tweet that I did not agree with personally, but the guy goes, Squid Game took Netflix and 10 plus years to make, and Mr. Beast did it in less time and on YouTube, and it was the number one trending video, like, for YouTube at the time. And it's like, he was trying to get to the point where that, like, you don't need Netflix to do that, right? But I think traditional media versus the creator economy, I don't think it's a versus. I don't think it ever was. I think it's a symbiotic relationship. I think that one cannot exist without the other, right? Content creators, the creator economy definitely benefits the traditional media in more ways than they would like to admit, because you start talking about a subject, you start generating views, and then people start clicking back and going back to whatever the original source material was. Tell me that's not beneficial to you as a traditional media producer, right? And as opposed to, if there's no traditional media, what is the content creator supposed to talk about, right? They can try and, you know, pick and choose how to, you know, discuss certain things, but Spider-Man comes out on December 17th, and if I get all my friends together in one room and we talk about Spider-Man spoiler-filled, like, people want to see that. People who just watched the movie are going to want to click on that episode. Why? Because they want to talk about it as well. They want to feel like they're part of the conversation. They want to feel like they're in the now, that they're talking about something current and ongoing. So if I get together my friends and we talk about Spider-Man for 2 hours and 30 minutes after you just watched a 2-hour plus movie on Spider-Man, people do that, surprisingly or not. Like, there's so many times that I've watched a movie and I go on YouTube and I watch so-and-so ending explained, and I watched 5 or 6 videos on the ending, trying to, like, piece together things I might have missed or things that, like, I thought were cool, and I want to see if anybody else picked up on those things, right? That's something we do. That's something people do, and people do it to a more extreme extent than that, even. And some people do it to a lesser extent. Maybe they watch 1 video, maybe 2 videos at max. You know, just something that we as creators on either side just need to realize that. And so I think that person that tweeted that about Squid Game, it's like, without Squid Game, Mr. Beast doesn't make that video. And without Mr. Beast starting way back in like 2012 or 13, whenever he decided to make his channel, he doesn't get those views, right? It all starts by just having a beginning. He didn't get those views overnight. He doesn't, none of his videos that generate millions and millions of views, it doesn't happen overnight. It happened because it was some kid in fucking North Carolina in his bedroom making videos about the most random shit, and people picked up on it, and people liked it, and he grew, and he started making some money, and he started doing some crazy videos, and people started copying him, doing those same exact styled videos. But why does Mr. Beast get to continue to succeed and reap rewards? Is because that boy is genuine. That man likes what he does. He loves what he does, and he goes out and he tries to make people happy. He tries to change lives the way he knows how, by doing ridiculous things and by giving away money. That's his thing. Bring joy, do crazy stuff, give away money. And that's, nobody can replicate that on the level he does, because now people who try to do it, they're not in it for the joy part. They're in it for the views, and they're in it for the money. And he's in it for the bringing people joy, doing crazy things for his friends and the people around him, and giving away his money. So shout out to him. Let's do a little clap. Shout out to that boy, Mr. Beast. I'm excited to see where he ends up, on the ending of his career. Let's just see. It's crazy that we get to see it as it happens. So I'm excited for that. If you see this, I just cut the episode. I've been kind of burpy lately. I just had some fries from this place, and it came with like chicken, sour cream, guac. It was a cheese. The cheese was good. And it was just, a mess of a food dish. And so I'm kind of feeling the side effects of that. So that's just something I wanted to share and be honest with you. Like I'm a little burpy, but it's because of the food I ate. I made that decision, and I'm living with the consequences. Thank God I'm not like gassy, at least not yet. But I'm chilling. I'm surviving. Transition, hard transition. That's what we call when we tell you there's a change in subject. The gym life, right? I've been going to the gym for I want to say 3 weeks, and the gym used to be a lifestyle for me. That used to be something I did every day before school, finished school, went after school, and I was trying to get it. I was trying to do the best I could be. I was trying to play full college football, which I did. I achieved that. I got that to that level. And then I just, I was like, there's no reason. I don't even like football no more. I don't gotta lift no more. Bye. That was my mentality, right? But I wanna credit 16-year-old Fernando that took the time, instead of like his peers, right? Instead of just wanting to lift heavy immediately, I took the time with my 10s, my 20s, my 25 pounds. I took the time to learn proper form, and now I get back to the gym, and I know my form. I know it just instinctively. It's like riding a bike. I get under the bar, I'm ready to do what I gotta do. And when people tell you proper form is key in anything you do, in any whatever it takes, whatever form it takes, your form, right? Having proper form, whether it be focus racking, right? Whether it be, setting up something like digital on your computer. You got to set up this, that, go through your motions, and then you're ready to go, right? So for me, I prime my mic, I do a sound check, I check it out, I record it a little bit, play it back, it sounds good. Then, turn the camera on, I do this, that, those are my steps, right? And if I was to just jump in, record, turn the camera on, what if there's an echo? Right? Now I have to work harder in post to get rid of that echo. Hopefully that it works and it happens. But now, I take my time and I set up and I do sound checks and I check the microphone levels. I make sure the cord is good. I make sure my laptop is good. Make sure there's no issues. Do your setup, right? Your setup is important. Just like your form when lifting weights. I get under there. I do my thing. It feels good. I started literally where 16-year-old Fernando started day one. I got my 10s, I got my 20 pounds, and I went to work and I made sure my form was good. I made sure my wrists were okay because, you lift heavy and then your wrists start to give out a little bit. And so, we're back to kind of where we used to be. And, I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that my form did not collapse under the heavier weights. My form is still as good as it was when I was 16 years old and, in the prime of my life, because that's what they tell you. If you don't make it to the pros, your athletic prime is in high school, college. For me, I just feel like I'm good. I'm good where I'm at. I'm not I'm not lifting heavy for the numbers. I'm not lifting heavy, to impress people like I used to. Like I'm exercising now because it's healthy and it's something, also a habit that I want to kind of get back into and kind of be able to enjoy my life as fully as possible. I got the Gabriel Iglesias plushie right there. My favorite joke of him is like, what if I go to the gym today and I die tomorrow? That means I died sore, and that always kills me. I'm like, true, Mr. Iglesias, that is very true. But like, what if you don't die tomorrow? That means you just got better today than you were yesterday. And so that's how I look at like exercising, doing stuff like that. But our last thing, another hard transition, our last thing that I want to talk about today is like at the moment of the recording, it's like about 11 o'clock now. I have to go to sleep. I'm going to edit this, obviously, because I want to get it out in time for tomorrow. But clips are going to be a little later, probably like 1 p.m., the earliest, or the max, whatever. Let's say the max. But I have a little job interview tomorrow. Ooh, right? And I scanned my way into this interview. This is the second interview. I already did the phone thing. This is the in-person. In COVID, in-person interviews, that's how you know. I'm whispering like so they can't look this up. But yeah, I got an interview tomorrow. I have to pick out my clothes for tomorrow. Just realized that. Something casual. It's not that kind of businessy job, but something still nice, still to make an impression. So yeah, I'm gonna head right to sleep. I'm gonna kill this interview, even though I scammed and finessed my way into it. But I'm excited. So pray for me, guys. If you listen to this, by the time this episode is out, by the time most people listen to it, I already completed it, already have finished the process. But send me your good vibes. Send me it, please. I need that right now, like ASAP. So whenever you hear this part of the episode, just remember, wish me luck. Wish me that I had a good day today, whenever this comes out, tomorrow, Tuesday. So today, Tuesday, whenever it comes out, whenever you hear it, wish me luck. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see where that goes, because it's something that I know I want to try. I want to try it. Am I going to like it? Who knows? But that's me. I try stuff that I'm not sure if I'm going to like. And if I like it, I'll do it. Kind of. If I grow to hate it, then you know what? Maybe I never really liked it in the first place. That's how I think of it. So I'm excited. Hopefully by like the new year, I'll update you guys. And it'll be like, this is what happened. This is what I'm doing. This is X, Y, and Z. So Tuesday, Cyber Monday was yesterday. Black Friday was on Friday. So I hope you got the deals you were looking for. Because Black Friday ain't hitting like Black Friday used to. Like this is not the kind of Black Friday you stay up until like 3 a.m. to get to the entrance, and then at 4 or 5 you start shopping, right? This is not the Black Friday like that no more. Black Friday don't hit like it used to. But I'm gonna end it on some plugs and maybe some opportunity. My fellow creators, listen to this right now. I have phone cases in front of me, right? Moment photo phone cases. I love Moment, right? That's one of my favorite brands of all time. I advocate them not nearly enough. I have their fanny pack, which I love. It's the Moment Travel Wear fanny pack. It's one of their first edition ones. But in front of me, I have a lens, a photo lens, right? This is their telephoto lens. It's 2x zoom on your main camera, so you don't got to use the shitty secondary camera that comes with your iPhone, because it's not going to be as good as opposed to the main camera. But I won't lie to you, and that's why I say creators. And if you're interested, hit me up. I'll send you a link. They're pretty expensive. This little piece of glass and metal cost me like $115, no lie. But it is so dope. I love it. I use it from time to time now. I haven't really been on my mobile photography game, but that used to be something I pride myself in. Kind of just try to take stellar photos on my phone. This case is their OG case. I took off the canvas part, if you could hear it. That's just a personal preference. I was DIYing stuff, but this is their slim case. I love their slim case. I actually have their blue navy slim case on my phone right now on that I'm using to record. But if any of this interests you, you want to take your phone videos to the next level with the lens, whether it be a zoom lens, a 2x telephoto lens, or an anamorphic lens that I got right here that makes your videos on your phone look super cinematic because it gives them those natural black bars. You don't have to add them in post, and it kind of squeezes everything together. If you're interested in any of that, hit me up. I will send you a special link that benefits me as well as like gets you your goodies and maybe a little bit of a discount if I can make it work. But that, help each other out, right? I send you a link, I get a little kickback from whatever you buy, and you get a cool new product that hopefully lasts you forever. I've had this particular lens for like 5 years, no cap, dead ass. But that's Idle Talk this week. I wanted to keep that at the very end because hopefully some creators pick up on that. I'm Fernando. If you don't already, follow us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. And follow us on TikTok at Idle Talk Pod, and Instagram at Idle Talk Pod, and Twitter at Idle Talk Pod with a 0 because I couldn't get it with an O. And if the Discord is up, click the link in the bio and join our Discord. But that was this week's Idle Talk. I'm Fernando, and I'll see you next week. Peace.